Hello YouTube, Slacker Stacker here. I recently took a little trip and ran into a museum and took a little tour. It was very exciting for me. I'm about to show you some video from that. But I couldn't just sit there and video the whole thing all the time, and I didn't have my camera with me, so I was using my phone, so I apologize for the aspect ratio on the pictures or the video. And then I didn't want to just take video all the time and hold everything up, so I did just take pictures, and so you're going to notice a little bit of a difference where I'm a lot calmer and talking about what's in the pictures, and then the video where I'm all excited in the heat of the moment. So forgive the making this video is kind of a thrown together type of thing, but I mean, this place is just so amazing that I felt that everybody needs to see it. And if you're into electronics, if you're into the cameras and even YouTube, like studio stuff and all that, you really need to go to this place. I have more fun, but in these videos, that's going to become a recurring thing that I say. I repeat myself all the time about how awesome it is, and you need to go see it. So just stay tuned. Bear with me about how excited I get, and the difference between the excitement and then the more level-headed explanation of the pictures. But you'll see at the end where it bears with silver. So take care. Enjoy the video. I am here at the Broadcast Museum in Kilgore, Texas. I've heard a lot about this place from my friends who are all tech heads. I mean, we're all love electronics and stuff like that, and we've all worked in radio and kind of our own type of equipment. But yeah, these guys are telling me you really need to go down here and look at this place because it's got everything. You'll spend hours there. Once you get in, you may not ever come out. I mean, it is that much fun. So, well, we're about to see. So stay with me. Okay, so here we have one of the very first VCRs. This is like the oldest version. In fact, it doesn't even use the old tapes that the modular tapes that we're used to. They use reel-to-reel magnetic tape, kind of like tape cassettes or the old reel-to-reel music drives. But that's what they resemble. But they are in fact VCRs. They put these shows on these tape reels. They did those for figured it out for cataloging purposes, and they could have other stations play these different shows that were on these VCR reels. The one that you see here is a tube type version. If you'll just bear with me a second. These two bays are over here on the right side of the VCR itself. That's nothing but tubes, power supplies, and circuitry. That's all it is. There's no switches. There's no monitoring devices. There's nothing but just tubes and power supplies that are dedicated to that VCR thing. This is the tube type version, and this is how big the old technology of the day was. I mean, everything was just so huge to do the simplest of things. Bear with me and I'll show you a solid state version. Here we have the old style VCR, but this is a solid state version. As you can see, it's still fairly large, but it's a lot smaller than the VCR console with two bays worth of tubes and power supplies over to the side of it. This is all one space, and so it saved. It had a whole lot more of a smaller footprint, but still, this is the solid state version of the old reel-to-reel type of VCR, which is what they use to disperse, some TV shows to different stations and to catalog and save these old. There are some shows that are lost forever until they started this system, and now you can find really old the Lucy programs and stuff like that. Some stuff that's kind of rare and everything, they still have it on tape. So it really revolutionized the way to store in film vaults and such our old TV shows. This place is unbelievable. If you're in electronics, you have got to come and see this place. I mean, it's so enjoyable. It's everything broadcast. I mean, TV, movies, radio, you name it. It's all the equipment and everything. You've got to come see this. Trust me. Like I said, guys, you guys have got to come see this. I mean, they have got a collection of studio cameras that is unbelievable, all the way down to, I mean, like the very first technology where they are just now splicing actual celluloid film into electronics through a prism, all the way up to, and I'm sorry, I'm going too fast, but you know, hey, you guys got to come for the tour, so I can't show you everything. But all the way down to the studio cameras that I remember when I was a kid, you know, whenever you'd see, you know, here's Johnny, and they roll this big camera away in the background, you know, because the other one took over. Well, that's what these things look like, and it brings back so many childhood memories. And sorry if I sound really excited, but it's because I am. You just don't see something like this every day. But yeah, come to explore the past broadcasting. See the different types of equipment that they had. It's unreal. It really is. I could spend hours in this place, and probably will before it's over, but I'll check back soon. Now, it wouldn't all be about broadcasting if they didn't have a whole section of TVs. And the TVs you see here are really old, you know, like in the 50s and such, where the actual tubes sat on top of boxes that held all the tubes, you know, the vacuum tubes and circuitry that actually made the TVs run. This was it was the way they designed them back then, but then I was told that like people would set their TV guide or something down on the box, just, you know, right by there by the tube. Well, yeah, it's problematic because all these vacuum tubes inside these boxes put off a lot of heat. And so when you put the TV guide on there, you're blocking these venting holes, and these things would get overheat and, you know, either shut down or sometimes even catch fire, you know. But you know, as technology progressed, we moved more and more into well, I would say that they would get smaller as technology usually does, but in this case they actually went into console TV. As you see here, the screen size, in most cases technology gets smaller whenever it advances. And over the years, it didn't get smaller, it got larger. The screen size got larger. The sound quality got better with, you know, with the speakers and amplifiers and such, but you know, in doing so, they turned into these larger console TVs. They weren't just a box with tube on it or a picture tube on it where you could see it anymore. These things were now becoming parts of furniture. They were becoming almost a furniture type art form to fit within the decor of living rooms and people's houses. Instead of just a TV unit, it was actually now becoming part of the living room furnishings. So in this case, it was kind of reverse. The TVs actually got larger. Now, not entirely. Now, if you look in this picture, there's these lamps that are sitting on top of a couple of these console TVs. They're sitting on the doilies back there. Now, those are actually lamps with radios in them, where you can have the lamp. You know, you listen to the radio while you're sitting there with that lamp. I thought those are kind of neat. I'd never seen those actually before, but that white one and the one with the boxy type base, those are lamps with radios. But no, this was a very interesting place. You can see the old the old type of antennas that they had on them too. But much more to see. This actually is a mock-up with the control and soundboard, the little tape players on top of it. I cannot remember what he called those. They're almost like the 8-track players, but he said they were like 4-track, and that's what you put with like station IDs, ads, commercials and stuff that you play during station breaks and stuff. That's what those are on. So then you would have the turntables, which you can see with the red felt. But this was basically a working model in a room that they had of a radio station. The only thing it didn't do was transmit, but it was to show you how these things are set up and how they work. It was very interesting. I was going to be silent during this little video clip, but you know, I'm looking at this and I would love this in the comments if anybody could tell me. But looking at this soundboard, it's very complicated. You probably takes a lot to learn how to run one, but I do have one question. Okay, each one of these rows is like a track or a channel. Okay, so why do you have 10,000 knobs for one? Somebody please answer me that question. The gentleman here is not the one who actually runs the board. He's very knowledgeable of the history of the objects, but he doesn't quite know what all the knobs are, and he has the same question. So help us out, guys. Put it in the comments and let us know. But this is an amazing working studio, actual studio. I mean, any media that you can bring up here that you want to see, they can play it. They don't record, however, I'm sure it wouldn't take much for them to figure that one out. But yeah, and they could do it if they really wanted to. But it's a play option only. So if you have like old wedding pictures or birthdays or any events or anything that you really wanted to see, like you know, in a professional version, bring it down to these guys and check it out. I mean, they've definitely got the stuff to do it, and it is just super impressive. Again, guys, you've got to come down and see. These are artist renditions or artist drawings of components used to make a test pattern. Basically, like when the station is about to start, or if something happens and they throw up just a test pattern, and all you get is the like tone and bars. But in this case, there's a test pattern. Well, the Indian at the top, of course, was one of the pieces used in the test pattern. The lower part is well, the middle and the lower picture are the actual test patterns. But that's what you would see during station breaks and stuff like that on. This is the actual piece of equipment that generates that test pattern. All those tubes, all that equipment, everything that's in that rack, that's all it does is make that test pattern and maybe a tone to go with it. You can see that the camera is over to the left side of the rack, but all that equipment, that's all it does. Anytime there's a break or anything where they need that pattern, that's the equipment that generates it and overrides the camera and goes straight to the board. I mean, that's I can't say it any clearer than that. That's all that thing, all that mess. That's all it does. It's an impressive thing. Those test patterns must be pretty complicated. And here we are with a really neat mobile studio bus, and there was only 14 made. This camera is actually hooked into it that you're seeing out here. You'll go in here. I'm told that this one actually helped film, and I gotta watch it. I got a bad foot here, so if you bear with me. But I'm told that this actually was instrumental in filming the news about the Kennedy assassination. The camera outside, you said that it was this one?
That one in the center.
That the camera outside, this is actually the picture that you're seeing from the camera outside. But you can see you've got the entire control system here for that camera. And you said what year model, or what year about, thereabouts?
The video that's showing right here was actually filmed from this unit in 1963. It's a funeral for Officer Tippit after the Kennedy assassination.
But it's just so neat to see this thing. There's a ESPN bus back behind us, and I'll try to get a quick filming of that. Now here's, I guess this is the mains.
That's the mains.
It looks like a breaker box.
This is a 1949.
Oh, 1949. Now look at the huge rheostats down there. Is that for the individual legs? Wow, that is crazy big. But even back here, it extends even further. Ooh, and I almost put too much weight on that with this foot. I'm sorry. Glad I didn't. But there's like a little control board here. Oh, okay. This is like what switches between like a preview and then the actual on-air TV type thing. And is this what? Is this sound?
The audio board.
Oh, the audio board. And then got a friend who would love to see this. This is the front of the bus, the cab. But anyway, having a blast. Just hang with me. Okay, now I found something really interesting. You know, we were talking a little bit about radio, we talked a little bit about TV, but here's the movie part of it. This is a projector for a movie theater, and this thing is freaking huge. I found it very interesting because I never knew that some of them are carbon arc, which means you have 2 carbon rods in there that make a ultraviolet arc, which actually is your light. You know, and that kind of makes sense because you would see in old films and stuff where they'd have like a vent. And I always wondered what that vent was for. Was it just sheer heat or what? Well, those carbon arcs, they actually make smoke, so they're venting that smoke out. This one's been converted into a xenon tube. However, it is broken, so the proprietors here at the museum are looking for a 1,000-watt xenon tube or a xenon bulb. If any of the techies out there have heard of one of these, please let me know in the comments. They would really help these guys out a lot to preserve these things in history. So here you go, looking at what was. Now we have what is. Now this is more of your digital. It's still big. This is not as big, and it doesn't get near as hot. But anyway, this is for like a church projection or other type of a theater type, very large room. Auditorium. That was the word I was looking for. But it's basically this, just in a more digital, modern era type. So. Still exploring. There's lots more to see. Hang with me. Okay, this is just a little bit more modern. This is inside the ESPN mobile news truck I was telling you about. And you can see, you know, it's not as vintage, but God, just as impressive. You know, this is all like, you know, preview to on-air, you know, selecting and stuff. You've got different tape machines for different sports reels and such. Again, different cameras that you can preview and watch and get ready to put on air. Everything. This is your mobile command center. Very, very impressive. And it doesn't just end here. I mean, you've got your main. Sorry, it's dark, but it's even behind you. I mean, and then there's a whole nother area I'm about to go into. Just, oh man, guys, I can't say it enough. You've got to come in here and see this. But yeah, hang in there. Okay, I was mistaken a little bit earlier. Now that actually handled all the, what I saw back there actually handled all the cameras and stuff, but this is the actual control room. This is what I remember as a kid watching on movies. And one movie, I don't know if anybody remember it, was China Syndrome, where they had, or even Saturday Night Live and stuff like that, where they showed the control rooms of this whole wall of TVs. Well, that's what this is. It's just a whole wall of monitors with like different things that are running, you know, that they can switch over to. And here's the control board that really does all of that. And I can't believe I'm going to get to actually do this. This is kind of fun. But you've got like ESPN, the logos. Well, here you have like an on-air, and then I can fade that in to the ESPN logo there. And I'm using this little thing that a lot of you guys, now one of the engineer guys here, the tour guy, he and I were talking about this, and this looks like Star Wars on the Death Star when they blow up Alderaan. You know, we were all laughing about that, but what that really does is it fades from a standby channel to the active channel going out on air. And this is the nerve center. I'm just ecstatic about this. It's like I never thought I would actually see anything like this, but I have. And dude, really, I'm beside myself. I've had more fun today. I'm so glad I came down here, but still a little bit more to come. We're almost done. We're almost done. You put up with me just for a little bit longer, and I know this guy's ready to get rid of me, but anyway, y'all take care, and I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, guys, I'm here at a studio that was used with Longview News and such. I love the background. I'm actually, it looks like I'm on the news, but it's a little studio here with the anchor desk, and there's a camera with teleprompter. I was telling my tour guide that I'm really awful in front of a camera, but you know, you get a rare glimpse of me here. So I usually try to stay behind it instead of in front of it. But it's really neat. I never knew they actually had little monitors right here in the studio itself. So when you see them like stacking papers and stuff, you know, they can actually check out what's going on. There's a camera over here which actually operates on the green screen. the green screen with the monitor over there, it has like the United States, and it's with the weather numbers and everything, and it projects. And so if you wear anything green, you can actually, it looks like you can see through yourself. He had some green cloth and everything he put on him, and it was like this head with shoulders and then nothing. It was really cool looking. But no, this was a really cool idea. He says when they bring kids through here on the tour, this is where they lose them. This is where they all kind of pool up and have fun with the TV and the camera, the green screen. They put Godzilla on and they rampage the city with Godzilla and stuff. So I can see where this is a lot of fun. This broadcasting is a lot to learn here, a lot to learn. And I've only touched just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there is so much here. You'd spend hours, and I really could. I could spend days here, but they won't allow that. But anyway, I'll be back. Well, thanks for bearing with me through that video. I know some parts it could probably be painful going from just, kind of a nice even drone of what's going on with the pictures and what it was all about and everything, into all this real excited bouncing around in the videos. But now to the meat of it. For this little excursion, what did it cost me? Okay, well, it cost me a little bit of gas, but the city that this was in wasn't that far away from me, so I really can't say that it cost me a lot silver-wise. And this is what it is. It's the total little excursion, what was paid, food, gas, entry fees, anything that was spent on that trip. What was it? What was the equivalent of it in silver? That's how I'm kind of relating these videos into the precious metals market. And the museum itself was free to enter, so there was no cost there. I was so excited. They do thrive on donations, which I was so excited, and I closed the place down. I mean, it was after their closing time, long after their closing time, and these people were so nice. I mean, they were nice enough to deal with me, to explain things, to put additional time in to explain things and show me more things that they were working on, to tell me of plans, in the future of expanding the museum and more artifacts that they were getting in and more displays that they were going to build and things that they were going to shift and everything. It was just, like I said, it was an absolutely wonderful time. And I do plan on going back. I would like, if time and things permit, to volunteer a little bit of my time there. I mean, I would just, to me, it wouldn't be work. It would just be a blast. It would be fun. And I will make a donation. It's just, I'm not going to say how much on film or anything, but I will make a donation. But it's, so lunch, food, and all for the excursion. Oh, I would say it was probably about an ounce, and well, it's kind of hard to get about a half ounce with these little guys, but about an ounce and a half worth of silver to cover gas back, there and back and all, because gas is more expensive right now. Food is also expensive. But like I said, the place was free to get into, and at the time, I kind of forgot to give a donation. I meant to, but I forgot because I was so excited talking to these people. But I will return, and I will make that donation. But again, thanks everybody for bearing with me. I hope to do more videos like this. It was a lot of fun. Getting out, going places that I've never been to. This was all on hearsay, like you saw in the first of the video, that friends had told me about it, so I thought I'd give it a try. I do not regret it. They were absolutely right, and more so. Absolutely wonderful time. But anyway, everybody out there, you guys take care, and just hopefully you'll tune in and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.